And welcome back for chapter 30. So there was a guy at the CPAC last week, 30 years old. Perhaps you saw him on the news or read about him online. He is an Iraq and Afghanistan war veteran. He has a hat that says America First on it. Voted Trump in 2024. His name is Joseph Bolick. He's an avatar, I think, for a growing number of people on the right who are pissed off. Not at fake news, not pissed off at communist Kamala Harris, not pissed off at drag queens reading Goodnight Moon at the public library. No. As CPAC wrapped up its annual revival meets trade show for the Church of White Grievance, the leader of that church, the 45th and 47th president of these United States, Donald Trump, is clearly in trouble with his own people. Now, Trump usually gets the Jesus Christ walking on water, meets Hulk Hogan, meets conquering emperor returning from Rome to a crowd already chanting his victory before the battle even starts kind of treatment, because CPAC feels like a high school pep rally that got radicalized by a Breitbart news comment section and then sponsored by a defense contractor and blessed by some holy water from a Charlie Kirk branded piss cup. But not this year, because I wonder what Charlie Kirk, if he hadn't been assassinated, would be saying about this war with Iran. Now, the young guns of the MAGA crowd are pissed at Donald Trump because we are now in that war. He's lied about everything, Joseph Bolick told any reporter who would listen. If you go into a war where there's no end game, how's it gonna end? There's no clear objective. End quote. There you go, Joseph Bolick, a MAGA vet at CPAC, channeling Sun Tzu without even knowing it. Hey everybody, I'm Lloyd Dobler, and yes, if you're new here to the podcast, that Lloyd Dobler. I used to hold up a boombox outside Diane Court's window. Now, I hold up some ancient Eastern spiritual wisdom like a mirror to better see and better manage the decline of this evil American empire. And today, we're in chapter 30, the Tao Te Ching's chapter on force and on war and on the thing that happens when you push too hard and the universe pushes back. Let's call it wasting away again in Margaritaville. Here's the scene. It's CPAC 2026, Grapevine, Texas, the annual conservative pep rally, the place where the Republican base comes to be told that it's winning. And this year, it's a split screen. On the one side, you got your older conservatives chanting about ending a 47-year-old conflict, celebrating shock and awe, calling dissent weakness. On the other side, young guys still wearing their American First hats who feel betrayed. Veterans, college Republicans, the same hyper-online young men who carried the 2024 election for Trump, the same Charlie Kirk crowd, are now watching gas prices spike, casualty rates rise, and a president tweet contradictory war updates like he's invited us all over to the White House to Netflix and chill World War III, and he can't decide which version of himself is holding the remote. Is it Trump the deal maker? Nobody makes better deals than me. We're getting out of endless wars. Or is it Trump the wartime president saying we're hitting them harder than ever? Total strength, total victory. Or is it Trump campaigning for the Nobel Peace Prize saying this isn't a war? I'm the president who ends wars. Or is it the president leaning in romantically for a kiss, resting his hands on the Monroe Doctrine and saying, hey babe, honestly, we could just take Cuba. It wouldn't even be that hard. Nobody talks about that. Would you like me to grab Cuba by the pussy? I could. I could just grab Cuba and Venezuela and Mexico. I could just grab them by the pussy. I'm the president of the United States. Or is it the Trump who actually changes his mind again back to Iran, saying that they respect me now? They didn't respect the last guys, immediately followed by, we're very close to a deal. And then the deal's off. Worst deal ever. And then, actually, it's back on. Very good conversations. Actually, we might send troops in. And all the while, the young, white, mostly male MAGAverse is like, Mr. President, I was really fine to Netflix and chill with you and have you fuck me over on the economy, on your criminal crypto thingy, on your big, beautiful bill that's really a big, beautiful class war. You can fuck me over on all that. You can grab all my pussy on all that. But this America as a war machine thing feels like Netflix and fuck the fucking party, man. The fucking party's fucked. Or to put it in more journalistic terms, a Politico poll this month found something striking. More than 70% of older MAGA men believe Trump has a plan for Iran. Just like they have a plan for their high blood pressure. Among MAGA men under 35, less than half think that he has a plan. The coalition that built the MAGA wave is cracking along a generational fault line, and the earthquake is named Operation Epic Fury. Matt Gaetz, people, stood on the stage and said a ground invasion in Iran will make our country poorer and less safe. Tucker Carlson against the war. Megyn Kelly against the war. Joe Rogan against the war. And you can bet your fucking bottom dollar if Charlie Kirk wasn't shot in the neck and dead in the ground, he'd be against the war with his millions and millions of followers. Which brings us to the question I want you to sit with as we go into a meditation, which clearly I need. Maybe you do too. When the thing you used to win becomes the thing that's breaking you, what do you do with that momentum? And let that work on your subconscious mind as we go in for Chapter 30 of the Tao Te Ching. All right, let's settle in and take a breath. Seriously, get comfortable and take a long, slow, deep breath in through the nose, like you're trying to inhale every contradictory Trump truth social post into one clean, coherent sentence you can actually believe. Hold it there for a beat. And then let that breath go. Let it go like you're realizing, oh, this isn't a strategy. It's a playlist on shuffle with the largest defense budget in the world. And disclaimer here, I'm not your spiritual advisor. I'm a fictional character who broke free from a 1989 Cameron Crowe film who has somehow outlasted every foreign policy doctrine of the last 4 decades. So, take what's useful, leave the rest. This is the Tao Te Ching, Chapter 30. Whoever relies on the Tao in governing men doesn't try to force issues or defeat enemies by force of arms. For every force there is a counterforce. Violence, even well-intentioned, always rebounds upon oneself. The master does his job and then stops. He understands that the universe is forever out of control, and that trying to dominate events goes against the current of the Tao. Because he believes in himself, he doesn't try to convince others. Because he is content with himself, he doesn't need others' approval. Because he accepts himself, the whole world accepts him. You can open your eyes. That was the Tao Te Ching, Chapter 30. Okay, for every force there is a counterforce. That's not pacifism. It's physics. Lao Tzu was not a hippie. He was an archivist for a dynasty that had watched empires rise and collapse like bad soufflés for centuries. And here's the part that should land like a flat stone on still water. The master does his job and then stops. See, the Tao is not interested in optics. It's not running for Senate in North Carolina. The Tao does not need the crowd to cheer. And here's where I want to get personal for a second, because this verse isn't just about geopolitics. It's about the seduction of force, the way we all, at some point, mistake intensity for effectiveness. I mean, let's be honest. I do it in my writing of these little podcast scripts sometimes, maybe today. The way we keep pushing in a relationship or an argument or a career or a political movement, because stopping would require admitting that we're not as in control as we said we were. Trump's operation is called Epic Fury, and the Tao would look at that name and say, fury isn't a strategy. Fury is a feeling that got loose, and when fury runs a foreign policy, the counterforce shows up at your own party's convention, wearing your own hat, quoting your own slogan, and telling reporters that you lied. So here's a question to sit with. What in your life are you still forcing past the point where the job was done because stopping feels like losing? What in your own life are you still forcing past the point where the job was done because stopping feels like losing? Which brings me to our open letter. And this is an open letter to a force that can't stop. Dear Operation Epic Fury, I hope this letter gets to you at your sad little corner of ambition and consequence to let you know that you have a branding problem, and the branding problem is the policy problem. Epic Fury is not a plan, it's a mood, and moods don't have exit strategies. Moods don't answer the question, how does it end? What is the objective? Or, even more critically, why did it start? Why did it start? Cough, cough. Epstein files, motherfucker. The Tao says whoever governs through force invites counterforce. You're seeing it in the polls. You're seeing it in the gas prices. You're seeing it in the White House staffers who are taking stress leave. You're seeing it in Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz, of all people, warning about the dangers of military occupation. Matt Gaetz is a late-stage frat house id, a man who treats escalation like a personality trait, a man whose default setting is maximum chaos and no parental controls. When you've lost Matt Gaetz on foreign interventionism, the Tao has already filed the paperwork. So here is your practice instruction for the week, Operation Epic Fury. Find one place where you're still pushing past done, one objective you're still escalating even though you can't define victory, one show of force you're still performing because stopping would require you admit that you never had an endgame in the first place. And from the edge of the empire and the center of the self, this is the Tao of Lloyd.